Chapter 15 of the Sorrows of Satan. This is kind of an interesting book in the fact that we're getting more and more about Mary Clare. That this rival author, that Jeffrey Tempest, he's just had a conversation with Romanas about how Romanas is about to go and bribe the great Scottish critic David McWing to make sure that he gives a good review. And I mean, do it in a way like, oh, I'm contributing to his charity. I'd never actually bribe him because, of course, none of the praise, none of the log rolling, none of all the notices that get put in newspapers. That's all done from pure literary, kind-heartedness for the great noble truth. It's not done for money. Just like you as a fellow, if you introduce yourself to a family, you could be someone who is completely penniless without a job, and they would just take you as you are. It wouldn't be about your millions of dollars, which he's obviously noted throughout his dealings with Lord Elton and Lady Sybil. That Lord Elton, he's paying his debts. He's totally buying the old man so that he can have he's got a clear way to Lady Sybil. And Lady Sybil, who he's buying, she's sort of depressed because her face is frozen in abject animalistic horror, paralyzed, just alive like that, suffering, can't speak. Because it's almost as if she's seen the face of the devil, which she was having a conversation with Prince Lucio Romanas, just before she had her convulsion, so she had seen the devil. Um, so he goes in and he picks up her book, and he's pissed when he reads her book because it's like, how dare she write so well? She, a mere woman. And we definitely, Marie Corelli is definitely filtering in. You can see every single bit of misogyny directed against her in this world. Of like, the critics all hate her. Her books are bestsellers. But she's done dirty. But even though the masses love her, it's like, well, they must be asses. They should only listen to what the male critics say about a book. And he is pissed, and he's pissed, and it's like, there's a part of him that wants to just read it and respond to it and enjoy it, but there's also that vengeful part of him that just wants nothing more than to get a review platform and just rip the thing apart, out of pure spite and revenge. It's like, you're a woman, you should be a servant, you should not be to men, you should not be ripping the laurels off of men's brows, and doing it. So there's a sense of like, okay, there's a real kind of just a righteous feel of like, of this female author writing at this time. There's also the thing of like, well, are you saying then that you've created this character of Marie Claire, whose books are fabulously popular with the public? Are you saying those are just, it's like, your works of literature then are works of genius, because they're so popular with the public? And there's the hubris. I mean, I guess you would have to have a goddamn strong personality to be a woman writer fighting your way through this kind of society where you're not getting any positive feedback from a critical establishment, a plainly very misogynistic critical establishment. That said, there's plenty of really great writers. It does remind me of Henry James and, God, House of Mirth, Ethan Frome, all that. God damn it! Why did her name? Her name has come out of my brain. All of her books, and how she was devalued by the literary establishment, and maybe only in the last while, and her books were dismissed as kind of bestsellers. But um, yeah, yeah, they're actually, you know, are quite good. I see. I have to go back in my thing. Why can't I've just blanked on her name, which, yeah, it's a dude who's forgotten the name of probably one of the better books I've read. Edith Wharton. I didn't even get to it, but Edith Wharton. Um, you know, uh, that kind of thing. So there's a slight comedic thing to it of, I don't know if it's comedic or just like it's a little bit of cringe of like she's created this great female author whose bestsellers but the critics hate, and it's obviously just by spite and jealousy. It can also be your books are kind of slightly junky, and people like good junk. Good junk is hard to write. I'm not devaluing it, but maybe it's not the highest literature. Maybe it's not going to last forever. I don't know if there's a ton of people who are now reading the Srrws of Satan anymore. Uh, Whereas, Edith Wharton, definitely, Jane Austen, definitely. There's people who's like, okay, their works have lasted. But I mean, how much of anybody, how many of any writers last um, out of the time that they're written in? And wouldn't you just take that as a thing of writing in, being popular in the time, and it's like you leave the rest to um, leave the rest to history because you don't get a say in it. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. More videos later.